This is an important and interesting subject matter, but we've got to bring on the guy who may have written the post of the week, handsome Tom Haberstroh.
Oh.
What's going on, Tom?
I gotta work on my comb over. I don't have much hair to work with though.
And
That's
that
great.
picture, I
He's one
should
of my
say, is
favorites.
from college when he went by Tom Haverford. It was a different life.
And
How
I
you
was no
doing,
longer
man?
Greek. I'm doing good. What's up, fellas?
I see that
Yep.
the power of Christ is still with you. That's good.
Yes.
The cross.
How
All
how's
right. So,
yeah.
how is competitive balance going? Is that what you were gonna say? So without being too big of a nerd, and being, maintaining your handsome Tom rep, can you explain how you got the numbers you got and what they told you for this True Hoop post? And James, can you throw that post in the chat so people can reference it if they want?
Thanks, James. Basically, I looked at payroll and wins and compared the two and tried to see if it was a strong relationship, which it wasn't. And I was sitting up one night, and usually these thoughts come into my head when I'm sleeping or trying to sleep, and I was just like, why don't I just compare it to draft performance, draft efficiency? And I was sitting on this draft database that I did 2 years ago. I updated it, and I compared draft efficiency to wins, and then I compared payroll to wins, and it turns out that draft efficiency matters much more in the NBA than payroll. 34% of the variability, stat warning, 30% of the variability in team wins, so about a third of what happens with records can be explained by drafting well, whereas only 7% is explained by payroll. So that's a pretty
Okay.
big difference.
Right. So basically, what I took away from that was if you run your team, no amount of money is going to make a stupid organization smart. Is that fair to say?
Exhibit A, New York Knicks. Yes.
Well, and also, I mean, I
Right?
would say that you look at teams that spend a lot of money. The Celtics have spent a lot of money, but they've also gotten a lot of value for that money. I mean, it's not like they've been, you could say that the Mavericks have spent a lot and maybe didn't get a ton of value out of some of the people they had. But I mean, there are teams that spend a lot of money and spend it well, and there's an argument that if you can do that, you should be able to.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're seeing Sam Presti do it right now in Oklahoma City, and you've seen San Antonio do it. A lot of people think that they struck gold with Tim Duncan, and that's the story. But yeah, maybe they won the first championship on Tim Duncan and David Robinson. But after that, too, um, they did what no team has been able to do: is find two multi-time All-Stars in pretty much the second round, Ginobili
Right.
and Tony Parker. So it takes a lot of smarts, and it's not just striking rich with Tim Duncan. So
But is the
um,
draft luck? I mean, was that luck of theirs? It seems like there's a lot of
absolutely.
things that people say are true, are gonna. So that doesn't make people feel any better if you know that no matter how good of a GM you hire, it's really just gonna come down to a certain degree to luck.
You ask the smartest GM in the game. You ask the smartest owner, player. This game is predicated on luck. Um, the luck of the shot, the last second shot. Derrick Rose going to Chicago where he grew up. And I mean, Tim Duncan going to the Spurs is a lot of luck. But this game is you need a healthy dose of luck to win anything.
Right.
And I wouldn't say luck is the primary contributor to long term success, but it's certainly there. And teams as part of the mechanism of the lottery, luck is a big part of it. But fans, come on, this game. If everything was so predictable, then why would you watch?
Right. Well, I think they want unpredictability game to game, but they want some predictability as far as this, or some positive predictability as far as the season goes. So take a team like the Pacers. Um, they've drafted okay. in recent
Yep.
years. I mean, some hits, some misses. They've spent basically the league median amount of money, and they're a 40-win team. They go
Okay.
to the playoffs and
Yeah.
lose in the first round. I mean, what do you make of that situation?
Well, you never want to be in this in-between state. I think Daryl Morey of the Houston Rockets says like the worst place you can be is not good enough to make the playoffs and not bad enough to be at the top of the lottery, and that's where they are right
That's where
now.
Daryl Morey is.
Exactly. Well, what's your point?
My point is, it's very hard to, it's trickier than just being like, oh, okay, we're either going to be super good or we're going to suck. Like, I feel like people need to come to grips with the fact that sometimes you're just going to be okay, even if you do
Yeah.
most things correctly.
Yes. If you notice, the Rockets haven't had like a top 10 pick, and they've been trying to swing huge deals for a superstar, but they can't really go anywhere, just like the Pacers can't really go anywhere until they get that max player who's worth more than the max. They just don't have him right now. So it's not Roy Hibbert, it's not Danny Granger, it's not Darren Collison, and it's certainly not Tyler Hansbrough. But they just need – I don't know why I just took a shot at Tyler Hansbrough.
You just got to take that ACC shot.
Yeah, maybe that was it. So basically, you get stuck in this in-between world, like where the Detroit Pistons and the Golden State Warriors are, where they're not bad enough to strike rich at the lottery and not good enough to make the playoffs and drive some excitement to your fan base.
Right. Okay, so the Suns surprisingly showed up well in your draft radar, but they are a
Yes.
notoriously terribly run organization. They trade draft picks, which are going to be cheap players, to overpay free agents and then let good free agents go. Why did they show up well in your measurement?
Well, they're an interesting case, and I've tried to make this this project as catch-all as it can be. But some teams, like the Suns, will slip through the cracks because they have actually done really, really well with the picks that they've had. Now, if your philosophy is if that's going to be your measurement, then they look great. They drafted Amari Stoudemire at I think 9, who's a perennial all-star at 9, where you don't find them there. Barbosa was a great pick, and basically they've shipped fire sale at all their picks. I mean, I think Rondo was one of theirs. And so if we're going to take that next step with this database, it's going to be a huge undertaking, which is something I want to do, is include players who were traded for those picks and how have they done, just to like take a barometer of those draft day deals.
Actually came from that draft pick.
Right. So the Suns, with the picks that they've had, that they've actually picked, they've done well. But otherwise, it's been mixed reviews after that.
So I have a question for you then. If the draft seems to be the main factor that drives success, does something in the way that the draft is currently set up, do you see a major flaw there that were it changed, it would make things significantly more balancier?
You know, I haven't given too much thought about it, but I like the way that they have a lottery because it's an event. You watch, and Dan Gilbert's son was absolute delight to watch, and that whole like storyline of the Cavs winning the first pick, that was like a major storyline. Otherwise, that wouldn't be if we just did it by wins and slotted it that way. That wouldn't be very exciting. But I do think that there are some compelling arguments that we shouldn't be incentivizing teams to be bad and tanking, and that's why I think the lottery is in place, is so that if you are the worst team, that doesn't guarantee that you get the number 1 spot. I'm looking at this campaign here in Miami called Suck for Luck. And the team, basically, Miami fans, the Dolphin fans, are actively rooting against their team so that they can get Andrew Luck, and that's something you do not want in the NBA.